$275 for each item that is shipped through the shipping company, paying less than $50, because honestly customs never get my money like. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Santina. So on this channel I speak mainly about lifestyle vlogs for all my small business owners, especially in the Caribbean. Jamaica, of course, have to represent for my country. So I speak mainly about tips and tricks for small businesses that are just starting out. So if you are looking to get advice or tips and tricks on how you can actually start your business, how you can ship items, all of that good stuff, then I post most of that content on my channel. So if you like contents like that, ensure that you are subscribed. Also ensure that you follow my personal page at santinspeartcollabs and my business page is 876 Bougie Fits. In today's video I am going to be discussing ways in which you can actually avoid paying customs in Jamaica for your small business, or if it's a case where you're actually shipping items for your personal use. If you'd like to learn how you can actually do that, ensure that you stay tuned entirely to the video. Okay, I'll be spilling all the tea. Okay, so this is a very exciting topic. I know that a lot of small business owners out there, they want to know how to actually ship items to Jamaica so they can actually capitalize and market their goods in a way where it is not costing them too much and they're not spending too much on shipping. So I was in your position when I just started. I literally had no idea on which shipping company to use, how to ship my item to Jamaica, and how much to actually purchase to avoid customs. So I'll be going right into that, into the meat of the matter. So first things first, you definitely need a debit or a credit card. We no longer have any issues with NCB and their Midas card. Everyone should basically have a Visa debit or a credit card. So how to get a card? You can get a card very easily once you have your proof of address, your ID and TRN, and your source of income. You can actually get a credit card from NCB or Scotia. I personally prefer to use NCB because they are pretty easier to deal with in terms of getting certain things done, from personal to business. So I like to use NCB. If you're a business and you have been registered as well, I would definitely recommend for you to get your credit card for your business. So every purchase that you make, you can actually profit from it with cashback or mileage on your card. So it is pretty easy to get your credit card after, I think it's 6 to 12 months with NCB, and you can literally go online and submit the TCC and all the required documents to get the credit card. And once that is done, you can basically purchase items on credit, and you get 30 days, 25 days to confirm payment to the bank, meaning that you're literally borrowing their money to make purchases. And this is quite efficient, it's easy, and it's a very good idea. So ensure that you're registered and you can actually tap into these benefits that these banks provide for your business. So now that we have actually discussed credit card or debit card, you now need to decide how you're gonna have the items shipped. So you have found your suppliers. If you don't know how to find a supplier to purchase items for inventories or whatever the case may be, there's a video right here that was recently uploaded. Ensure that you stay tuned to that once you're finished watching this video. So now that we have discussed credit or debit card, you now have your card, it is now time to make a purchase. If you have no idea on how to find inventories for your online boutique or a supplier, a recent video was uploaded where I explained and discussed a few of the suppliers that I personally use that you can also use. They're reputable suppliers and they ship the items really fast, no hassle. I haven't had any form of issues with them. So here's a great way on how you can actually avoid customs. Ensure that all the items that you purchase are under $50 US. Once it is under $50 US, customs cannot charge you any form of money, any form of fees. So you just pay for your weight and you're good to go. So don't even allow for whatever amount that you're purchasing to pass $50, not even $51, not even $55, because they won't cut to any form of slack. Ensure that it's either $49.99, $45 or $50 flat. The moment it is 50 plus, even $50 1 cent, they are going to be charging you custom fees. So we cannot allow them to be overcharging us all the time. Knowing customs and how much they should charge, it should always be 25 to I think 34% of whatever you purchase. So if it's a case where it's $55, it should be around 30% of whatever that is. I really don't know how they calculate it, because there should be some additional fees with it as well. So I don't want to be going in the nitty-gritty. We don't want to be going in the nitty-gritty, because we're not about to get the government involved to be charging us any additional fees, because obviously we still have to go pay them tax, and we all need to learn the system so we can know the system. And how are you going to try to beat the system if you don't know? So knowledge is power. Ensure that you guys are educating yourself. Don't just rely on the information that I'm providing to you here. Ensure that you're doing your ground research and you actually know. You found your supplier, you have your debit card. How exactly are you going to be shipping the item to Jamaica? That's the next question. So there are multiple options where you can actually get items to Jamaica. For one, you can use the post office, which I would not recommend anyone to use. You can use the wharf. If you have your TCC, you can directly ship your item to Jamaica, clear it on your behalf, and use your TCC once your business has been registered. Or you can actually use a third-party agency wherein which they'll clear the goods on your behalf, and you basically pay them based on the weight. If it's a case where your item is over a certain amount, then you basically have to pay customs, and they would pay that on your behalf, after which you would reimburse them the weight and the custom fee that they would have already paid. So another option as well, if you or anyone that you know is overseas and they have the time, you can literally ship the items to a US address, get a box or a barrel, and have the items shipped down directly to customs. That is something I've done on multiple occasions. However, a lot of persons don't have that opportunity where they can capitalize on having the item shipped directly and then having it cleared through a barrel or a box directly. However, that option also takes time. I'm going to be discussing the most easiest, which would be the third-party agency, and in that case basically you definitely need to search on Instagram. There are multiple shipping companies. Since COVID, the pandemic, a lot of businesses have been formed from that. So once you type in shipping companies, you will see a lot of them. So things you need to take into consideration are the shipping time, their rate per pound. If they're charging in US dollars or Jamaican dollars, obviously you'd want to go with Jamaican dollars, because ain't nobody gonna be paying in US, because that's gonna be more. You also need to take into consideration if they're gonna be charging you additional fees, such as processing fees, having items sent out, whether it's to be dropped off at nuts for free to be picked up. How much are they charging you in addition to that? You need to know of hidden costs associated with these companies. And once you actually decide on a company, then you can proceed into purchasing your items and using them, signing up on their online platform, and from there you can literally sign up with your information and it will automatically provide you with a US address. So you get one by air, and we all know that, well, you might not know, but if you're shipping by air, it will be a little bit more expensive opposed to if you're shipping by sea. I'm not even gonna jump the gun. So I have a list right here. I don't want to miss anything, so I'm gonna be looking down every now and then. So we're gonna be talking about the pros and cons. So you're gonna have sea freight and air freight. So air freight is what most of us use, especially if you're just purchasing items for your own use, personal use, and that is where you'll be paying per pound. So if you're purchasing an item and it is less than $50 and it weighs 30 pounds, and let's say per pound it's $500, 30 pounds it's maybe $18,000. If you ship by air, then it will cost you more. Even though it is not over the $50 US, you basically pay for the weight of the item that the company would basically clear. However, you would not be paying any custom fee. Now, if it's a case for the small business owners that are most likely going to be shipping in bulk, deciding on which sea or air freight to use is very essential. But if it's a case where you want the items really fast and it's not over 20 pounds, even if it's 20 pounds, you can actually use air freight. It will come faster, but it will cost you more in terms of weight per pound. Now, if it's a case where you're shipping and it's over 20 pounds, then obviously it would be over $50, because what exactly are you going to be purchasing that will be less than, let's say, 10 pounds and under $50? So the moment they see that the item is 20 pounds, there's no way custom is going to think that you paid $50 or less than $50, and in that case you're going to be charging you custom fees. If it's a case where you want the item all at once, so say for instance you have decided to use a supplier such as Fashion Go, and you know you cannot buy items based on 1 or 2 sizes, you have to get them by packs where you get at least 6 items in one pack. In that case, you definitely need to have the item shipped through sea freight, and in that case you basically use the second address. So you'd have like a air freight and a sea freight address. You use that address to ship the items, or for the supplier to ship that item, so that you can avoid additional charges. The companies will charge you by sea freight at a percentage. So while you pay per pound if you're shipping air freight, when you ship sea freight you basically have to pay a percentage. So you have companies, well, most companies that I have reached out to, they charge a minimum of 30% of whatever you would have paid for the item you purchased in bulk. So if you had paid $1,000 US, it's 30% of that $1,000, and you know they'll convert it to the Jamaican rate. You have different companies that will find this reasonable shipping by sea freight, but honestly when it came to my business specifically, I realized that if I was supposed to ship the items in bulk and pay 30%, and I calculated the total amount of items that I would have received and calculated how much I would be making, how much I would be paying for the item, plus the shipping cost and additional expenses associated with that purchase, it would not actually make any sense in terms of making a profit if I should do it in bulk, shipping by sea freight. The next best option would either be to have the item shipped individually, and this is a tactic that a lot of business owners are using. Most persons might not mention this to you, or you have lots of persons gatekeeping, but to Jamaica, for your small business, it saves you, even though it might take up time and you'll have multiple packages to collect, it basically saves you a lot of money and you can actually budget in a way where, so one of the pros of having the item shipped individually by air freight is that you get the option where you can have your items priced at a reasonable cost, being that you're not paying out too much money to your shipping company. You're paying $50 for each packages, and depending on the amount of items that you can actually get, then by the time you get the item you can already analyze and know the total that you're paying with the rate sheet that the shipping company will have. So for me personally, I know that once I have my item shipped and it's under $50 US, I'm only paying for the weight, and for the most part the maximum amount is 6 pounds, and I think the 6 pound, I actually did my review before I came on here, so I don't want anybody to come at me. So I normally budget to get at least 10 items in each shipment, and that is under the $50 threshold. Now if I get 10 items and I pay a rate to the shipping company of $2,075, this was in 2021. Alright, so a more up-to-date amount. So 10 items at the weight of 6 pounds, and that costs $2,750. So if I'm buying 10 items per shipment and I'm paying $2,750, right, times that by 5. So when you multiply that amount for each shipment that you have, you basically realize that you're paying less. So that's $2,750 by 5. You're paying $13,750 for 50 items estimated. $275 for each item that is shipped through the shipping company when you use the method of air freight and you ship individually with paying less than $50. Because honestly, customs never get my money. Like, there have been instances where I had to pay customs, being that the method that I normally use, like you would ship the items, like say 10, and you would ship it at the same time and day. So what I realized, you might be shipping the items on the same day in different packages. What the company might think is that it's going to the same address, same person, so they ship the item together. And when they have that done, basically it's a joint shipment, so all the items are included. So you'll have at least 20 items. So even though it was paid for separately and the invoice states that this amount is 50, that amount is 50 or $49, whatever the total is, they still want to charge you custom duties, being that it is more than $50 according to them. So I have had instances, story time. I remember one time I wanted to get the items like in a way where I got them at once, and I shipped, like I purchased 2 stocks, right? So it was like 20 items in the same day, but I was expecting it would be shipped out separately. In that case, the company actually joined them, and when it was joined and it arrived at customs, the shipping company reached out stating that the item was on hold and I need to submit the invoice and yada yada yada, because it is more than the amount that was quoted on the invoice. So when I submitted the invoice, even though it was showing that they were separate, they still stated that I had to pay the custom duties, and that package cost me over $8,000. It was almost $9,000 plus. Anyways, it still worked out, because even though it was a little bit over what I had budgeted for, it was not too bad of a deal. And that was literally a one-time exception, and I literally learned from that, never again. So if it's a case where you're shipping your items, ensure that you do them on a separate day. I know that you might want them to arrive on the same exact date, but just have the company clear them. There's a 1-week wait or time frame as to when you collect the second or third package. However, it's better to wait than to be spending additional and unnecessary funds, being that you're a small business and you want to maximize on your profit. So nobody wants to be paying unnecessary amount of money out of pocket at that. And when you're pricing up your good, you either have to raise the price or stand the loss, because you know you have a lot of customers that are already acquainted with the prices, with certain amount of stuff that you sell. And if it's a case where you increase the price, you might be standing a loss and the item might not be selling. So let me know down in the comment section if it's a case where you'd rather to ship your items by sea freight or air freight. So I am not against sea freight, only in the event you're shipping multiple items that can actually, when it's calculated, it is giving you a decent profit and you're not paying too much for shipping. When I say too much, if you're paying at least $1,000 or $1,500 for each individual item, that would be too much, especially if it's a case where you're a small business and you know you have to mark up your good. No customer wants to be paying a lot on items that they can actually get themselves. So take that into consideration before you actually start purchasing with the methods that were just discussed. Alright, so I had mentioned earlier about using the post office. Now if you're using the post office, all you have to do is ensure that whatever post office that you use in Jamaica to collect your mail, letters, light bill, whatever it is, that is the address that you would normally use when you're shipping the items. So it can be for personal use or for business. However, you have to also take into consideration the post office is not guaranteed in terms of if you should purchase an item and it goes missing, or if there's any form of damages, they will not stand the loss, and it might take a long while before they actually reimburse you in the event the item is lost. If it's a case where you're shipping the items with a barrel or a box, you're charged based on the dimension. I think with the barrel, if it's a case where you're traveling, you get a credit $500 allowance, but based on what you have in your suitcase, that is deducted from your allowance. Say for instance you have either $300 to $200 remaining from your allowance if you have traveled and you submitted a barrel with stuff that you want to resell. First of all, the government cannot know that you're reselling the items. If they do find out that you're reselling, they are going to be charging you a lot of money, being that you're reselling it to be earning money. So what I normally do is to pack my barrels in a way where I have food items at the top and the clothing half of the barrel is filled with clothing. Once you dig up the suitcase and them tell us you must go down, just go down to the middle so they can actually see. Once they see that, then basically they should be seeing food and clothing. Obviously you're gonna have food and clothes in the barrel, and once you have that, then basically they can't tell you that you're reselling anything. If it's a case where you're gonna just pack stuff and obviously it's clothing, hair, all of that, yeah, you have a business and you are gonna go back to sell, so they might be charging you a lot of money. In my instances, I've shipped twice with inventories from my business undercover, and I didn't have any from my issues. I didn't pay a lot of money either. Like after purchasing the barrel, it was normally like $50 US. You have to pay a fee as well to have them shipped off, which is normally $90 US. And then when you get to Jamaica, you have to pay the agency that normally deals with the barrels, and it's about $5,000 to $6,000. And once you go to customs and they check that you don't have any form of valuables such as a TV or gadgets and all of that good stuff in the barrel, and it's just food and clothing, they cannot tax you on it. So normally all they do is to charge you the regular fee, and normally it's less than the last, I doubt I paid even $12,000 the last time. So if you calculate all of that, you'll realize that it is inexpensive in that manner, well, depending on your luck and your allowance. So that's another method. So when a lot of persons are asking, how do you ship your items to Jamaica, I don't really have that much experience in terms of shipping in bulk and paying the percentage. I've never done that before. It's either individually or I have the item shipped with the barrels. Those are the only ways I have ever shipped to Jamaica. So that's basically it. So the shipping company that I use, they aren't actually paying me for any form of promotion, so I will not mention the name. But as I've stated before, there are multiple shipping agencies out there that you can actually use in your parish, so it can actually be convenient to you. You don't have to be paying any additional fees and stuff like that. The last thing I have on here is how to calculate shipping once your item arrives to Jamaica. So you can actually calculate the item before it arrives to Jamaica, so you can know how much you're working with, how to budget your money in terms of the inventories that you're going to be getting, how much to pay for shipping and all of that. I also did a video, so there is a playlist on the channel stating business vlogs. Once you go on it, you will see how to calculate, how to price your goods, something of that sort. I will leave the thumbnail somewhere on the screen. You can also watch that video. So in terms of calculating the pricing for your inventories, once you have them shipped, or even before you have them shipped, you can always contact the company and ask them about their rates and their hidden fees. Once you have an idea and you can actually work out the budget and you have the items, so let's say that you purchase 20 items and you paid shipping, which total an amount of $15,000. It's always the total of the shipping fees divided by the amount of items that you purchase. So it will be the $15,000 divided by the 20 items. That will give you $750. So you'd pay $750 for each individual items. So when you're doing your breakdown, basically that is the individual cost for each specific item. So when you're pricing your item, it's always a total that you would have paid for the item. So if you had paid, let's say $2,000 for the individual item of the 20, it's $2,000 plus the $750 whatever expenses that you would have that your business incur, such as the package that you use, the labor, stationaries that you might have used, stickers, thank you cards, all of that. So if it come up to a total of, let's say, $800, you add that and it's $3,550. So it costs you $3,550 to have the item purchased overseas over the so shipped to Jamaica, and you need a profit. How do you profit from it? How much profit do you want from this? So $3,550, and let's say you want half of the amount times 2, $7,100. That will be your cost for each item. You're profiting $3,500 plus after you have made a sale or whatever. So as I've stated, there's a video on the channel that you can actually watch in depth. I don't think I should be going over it just now, but for persons who want an idea, this is how you would calculate. Well, personally, this is how I calculate my inventories. So if you have another way on how you can actually calculate, you can always leave them down below in the comment section. This is my 2 cents on having items shipped to Jamaica personally and for business. So if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comment section. I also want to give a little shout out to all of the persons that have been rocking with me since I have started my YouTube channel. So we are currently at 405 subscribers and our watch hours are going up. Thank you guys. I'm gonna be leaving the shout out on the screen again. Thank you guys. You guys are the real OGs. If you'd like for me to shout you out in my next video, ensure that you leave a comment down below so that your name can be on the big screen. Okay? Alright, so this is the end of my video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment, let us interact in the comment section. I love to interact with you guys there, and ensure that you are subscribed for contents like this. Until next time, see you in my next video. Bye.